Hello and welcome back to the channel for another episode of Challenger Approaching, where I spotlight one of the performances that impressed me the most from a big event from the world of mixed martial arts. If you've checked out any of the videos I've put up this week on this channel already, then you will know that I'm getting over a small surgery that I had done, and it's kind of impacting my ability to. I can talk fine, but I can't do the super animated stuff that I would normally do. It's a little bit painful if I do that. So we're keeping it on a level today, keeping it nice, calm, and calculated. And that sums up the performance that we are going to talk about today from UFC 308 in Abu Dhabi this past weekend at the Etihad Arena. There were some good fights, but I think mostly good performances that were worth highlighting rather than fights. That being said, we did get one of the fights of the year between Mateusz Rebecki and Oralby. What an absolute banger that was. Fantastic. I don't think it beats Zelhuba versus was it Ribovic from UFC 306 in September. I still think that was better, but this one was definitely a contender. And I thought the main event between Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway was absolutely riveting for the 3 rounds that it lasted. And there was some, like I said, great performances. Of course, you know, if we were going to talk about people who are ready for a title shot, we would be talking about Khamzat Chimaev right now. What a performance against Robert Whittaker. Let me pull up the card here and we'll quickly run through it. This is going to be absolutely blinding because of how bright Tabology is. Of course, you know, Magomed Ankalaev probably puts him in with a title shot. Lerone Murphy, a guy that I probably could have picked for this video, with his win over Danny Ige, but I don't think I learned anything from this fight of Lerone Murphy's that I didn't know already. We probably could have done an episode on him if I'd been doing this series at the time, on his win over Edson Barboza, which I think surprised a lot of people. I thought he would win that fight, but I did think it would be tough. And, you know, he bossed that fight from start to finish. Danny Ige, I kind of felt like, and he said this himself, he was making the fight hard for himself. And I just felt like, you know, if he was able to correct a couple of the mistakes he made in that first round, I felt like he would win the fight. And it was close, but wasn't necessarily surprised by that one. Ibra Aslan, completely under the radar performance, I think. But he looked fantastic. Jeff Neal looked really great against Rafael Dos Anjos until that leg injury. Good comeback from Abus Magomedov, Kennedy and Zachekwu. That was a bit of a depressing fight, to be honest. I don't want to talk about that one. Farid Basharat looked good. And, you know, these opening fights, I thought that Carlos Leal won that fight. Like I'm sure a lot of people did, but I'm sure you will have noticed that I skipped over one of the fights there, and it was the main card opener between Shara Magomedov and Armen Petrosyan. That is who we are talking about today. Shara Magomedov, who improved to 15-0 in the middleweight division, beating Armen Petrosyan. I believe it was his 4th win inside the UFC now. Yeah, 4th win, 2nd finish, and what a finish it was. You will have all seen this already. The double spinning back fist, literally. Like at the time, I thought, "Oh, that's quite funny," but it literally is a Tekken move that you can pull off. And what's even crazier is if you watch the open workout from Shara Bullet, it's something that he was drilling then. So it's clearly something he has in his arsenal. Of course, he is a fantastic striker. The reason I want to put him in here, again, I could have spoken about him on his UFC debut or in the win against Olajaychuk, but for me, those first 3 fights were impressive, but I wasn't really, you know, I was maybe buying myself a discounted ticket to the Shara Bullet hype train, you know. I was willing to see where it would go, where the next few stops would be, but I wasn't, you know, front and center, ready to press the button to open up the doors for everyone else. Do you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I was impressed, but not, you know, salivating at the potential of this guy. And then he comes up against Armen Petrosyan, and I thought this fight would be really competitive. I really rate Armen Petrosyan, especially obviously his striking skills. Both these guys are high level strikers, but you wouldn't have known that from watching it because Shara Magomedov, I know that his name is a bit longer than that, but it's really confusing. If you Google certain places, it seems like places have different names for him. Shara Magomedov, nice and simple, we'll stick to that. And he just outclassed Petrosyan in this fight. I thought he looked great from start to finish. He was picking him off. He looked like he was having fun in there. And then that, yeah, second round, he lands that double spinning back fist that is absolutely ridiculous. He goes on to call out Israel Adesanya and says he's the best striker in the division. I do not think he is going to get a fight with Israel Adesanya anytime soon, or I'd say anytime soon, maybe in a couple of fights. Let's pull up the rankings actually, and we'll have a look at who he could potentially fight. Where are we? UFC rankings. Where are we with middleweight? Why is that not? Why is that not scrolling? All right, it's just gonna stay with John Jones, I guess. Oh, I'm on the. I've got two roster tabs open. Well, that is very silly. It's been a long day, as you can tell. I've had that rankings page open all day because, of course, I need it to write things every now and then. So here we have the middleweight rankings. Of course, the majority of the people have moved down a ranking because Hamzat Chimaev shot right to the top there at the number 3. So Shara Magomedov entered the rankings. He is now at number 14. He replaced Chris Curtis in the rankings. You have Michel Pereira. I mean, I feel like that knockout win for Shara Bullet means he probably should fight someone above him. And he's riding a 4-fight win streak rather than someone coming off a loss. But man, Shara Bullet versus Michel Pereira would be a lot of fun indeed. Jack Hermansson is a fight that I'm not crazy about. It's not a bad fight by any means. Paulo Costa would be a very interesting one. I don't think Paulo Costa would ever take that fight, but interesting nonetheless. Jared Cannonier is a veteran of this division at this point, but not on the greatest run as of late. So that would be quite an interesting one, I think, to see that one. But again, Brendan Allen, I think, is a really interesting one. See how Shara deals with his grappling. Delidze, same kind of deal. And yeah, I think that those are kind of the names that you're looking at right now. Although, like I said, I wouldn't be opposed to the Michel Pereira fight just because it would be a lot of fun. You could also put him against Anthony Hernandez, who just come off a win over Michel Pereira, and I thought he looked great in that win too. Absolutely dominated Pereira, aside from a little bit of worry in the first round, I believe it was, where he took that body kick, I think it was. I'm a huge fan of Anthony Hernandez, although I do feel like he is a little bit of Shara Bullet's kryptonite, in the same way that he was able to dominate Michel Pereira. His style isn't very flashy, but his gas tank is ridiculous. His pressure is crazy. He's super tough, and he just, he almost doesn't give you the opportunity to out finesse him, because he makes it into a dogfight and just bullies some of these guys. And I think Shara Bullet, whilst we haven't really seen him tested in that way, I don't think the UFC are going to want to give him a guy like Hernandez, who they know is just going to constantly try and take him down. But, we'll see. I would be interested to see that fight. It would be a really, really tough test for Shara Bullet. But obviously, if he came through against Hernandez, then I think we are talking legit top 10, if not top 5 potential. So it'd be super interesting. Let me know in the comments below, who do you guys want to see Shara Magomedov matched up with next? Do you think he has a chance of getting an Israel Adesanya fight? How would he do against the last style bender? Let me know. This video has been a little bit shorter, like I said, still struggling a little bit with this with the voice issues, but we will be back next week, hopefully, fingers crossed, back to full health. I appreciate you for checking out the video. I'm sure I will catch you in the near future. Until then, peace.